Hey everybody. I wanted to start doing videos going over some current events related to the Bible, current events that are perhaps are prophetic. I mean, if you haven't been able to tell lately, there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. And if you're not paying attention, you might not realize just what exactly is going on, and that prophecy may very well be unfolding right before our very own eyes. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things in this video that I recently have seen within the last week or so, and definitely worth sharing. So, you probably heard Trump going on about taking over Canada as like the 51st state and how it would be beneficial both for Canada and for the United States. And about the Panama Canal, seizing control over that. And also about the U.S. taking over the Gaza Strip. Well, there's a lot of serious things going on here. And some people might just dismiss it as, Trump being quote unquote crazy, he's definitely a good one in office to try to pull this stuff off because people kind of expect the unexpectable from Trump, I guess you could say. And this is by no means an endorsement or against Donald Trump. I'm just talking about the current events going on surrounding him. So the interesting thing about the acquiring of Greenland, which he also talked about, the acquiring of Greenland, Canada, the Panama Canal, these are steps closer to creating the North American Union. One can assume that eventually Mexico will be tied in there. There's no talk of that, but once I show you this one video talking about the 10 tracts of land, the 10 empires, the 10 kingdoms that will be necessary for the Antichrist rule, this is all going to make a little bit more sense. So let's just take a look at this video real quick.
The Bible is the sure word from God, right? And the Bible says, and I'm going to read it to you. This is Revelation 17, verse 12 through 13, talks about the Antichrist kingdom. So this is in the 7-year tribulation. We left prior, the church, but this is what's going to happen to the planet. And the planet at that time is going to be split up into 10 regions called 10 horns. And it says here, verse 12, the 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast, the Antichrist. Watch this. They have one purpose, and they will give their power and authority over to the beast. So at some point in the 7-year tribulation, the whole planet is going to be split up into 10 manageable chunks ruled by 10 guys who, once that gets accomplished, they hand it over to the one guy, the Antichrist. So we know that's going to happen. It's going to come. Nobody's going to stop that. Now, what's interesting about that, and we've talked about this before, the early 70s, there was a group called the Club of Rome. And these guys have been working with Klaus Schwab from the get-go. And he's the World Economic Forum guy, right? Yeah. And they decided as a global economic think tank that the planet, in order to assure more manageable outcomes and order, that we need to, get this, create 10 manageable economic regions for the planet. It's called the Club of Rome map, and you can go look online. I got a picture right here. But if you look at this picture right here, this is their map. And go over there and look at the green one, number 1. You can see there's how many, by the way? Not 50, not 5. How many?
There's 10.
And this is their map from the early 70s, working with Klaus Schwab in the game. So they said this is what they want to do to the planet. It just so happens to be the exact same number in Revelation 17. But look at the number 1, the green one. What countries have been conglomerated into its own union? Canada,
States, Mexico,
United States, and what?
Yeah,
Mexico.
Canada, and
Mexico's
Greenland is
there.
even on there.
Exactly. There you go. So that's the Club of Rome version. That's what they are marching towards. Most people don't realize this. And that's nothing new. That's been going on, believe it or not, since the Bush Jr. days. He was huge on that. And then it continued during the Obama years. It took a 4-year hiatus when Trump was in office. Okay. And then when Biden was in office, he started the meetings again to create what was called the North American Union, which is the shaded version there. And it was to create the North American Union, and they called it the Three Amigos Summit or the Northern Leader Summit, whatever. And it used to be called the SPP, the Security Prosperity Partnership.
I'm going to pause the video right there. He goes on a little bit more about that. And if you want to watch the video, you could just look up Charisma Media. And this video is called The Antichrist Rise, Exposing the 10 Kingdoms of Revelation with Billy Crone. It's a really interesting video. But before everyone gets caught up between, the political sides, such as the Republicans and Democrats, I don't want you to get swept up with that stuff, because the bottom line is, whatever prophecy is going to unfold, prophecy is going to happen, no matter who's the president. And I personally, I'll say this: I voted for Trump, but I don't trust Trump 100%. And I do believe personally that he's a globalist. From the things that I've seen unfold so far, I think that he's definitely working with a globalist agenda, but he's masquerading under a patriotic flag, so to speak. Because if you think about it, I mean, the taking over of Greenland, Canada, and eventually Mexico, I mean, he's doing the same thing that Obama and Biden were pushing for. What's the difference? There is no difference. So all he's doing is putting a different flavor on it. But anyways, so that's very interesting. As you've seen the map of the World Economic Forum, they're pushing for the 10 tracts of land, the 10 empires, and then it says in, let me quick read the book of from the book of Revelation. It says chapter 17, and we're going to start with verse 12. The 10 horns you saw are 10 more kings who have not yet come into power, and they will rule with the beast for only a short time. They all think alike and will give their power and authority to the beast. These kings will go to war against the Lamb, but he will defeat them, because he is the Lord over all lords and king over all kings. His followers are chosen and special and faithful. So there's going to be these 10 kings that give their power over to the Antichrist. So we don't know how long this is going to take. I mean, this could be years. Now, if everyone starts to move as fast as Trump has been moving, I mean, who knows? This could happen within a couple of years. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take. He's pushing hard for Canada. They keep mentioning it. They keep suggesting it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not making any predictions, but all I can say is, since Trump stepped into office, things have been, it seems like warp speed. So who knows the timeline and how long all this is going to take. But the whole point of this is just for everyone to keep your eyes open to what's going on. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but you might have seen, if you're in the Facebook group, I'll leave a link in the description of this video about that, to join the community group. I was sharing YouTube videos talking about the red heifer and how they're talking about making the sacrifices, I believe, in the Passover of this year, 2025. And they said that needs to be done in order to complete the third temple. So, if anyone doesn't know, the third temple of Solomon's temple will be the official declaration that we are in the end times. We are in the last 7 years, or about that. Yeah. So there's a lot of big things are going on right now. I wanted to play one more video for you and talk about this for a little bit, because this is very interesting. And then I want to give you my thoughts on this. But check this out.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it to will own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
So Trump is talking about taking over the Gaza Strip, and Netanyahu is actually welcoming this. He thinks this is great. This is wonderful. You know, they're because naturally we're their allies, and Trump is planning on rebuilding and turning it into a prosperous whatever, a resort, a place to live, and it'll offer a buffer zone for the Israelites. So they're happy about that. But the thing I found interesting, and this is just food for thought, but I think it's in the book. It's in the book of Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel. Is it Ezekiel 38? Correct me if I'm wrong. Where Israel gets attacked by the enemies of the north. And this is just food for thought. But I was talking about this with a coworker the other day. How a lot of people assume that the enemy of the north is Russia. But what if the enemy was the United States or the quote-unquote North American Union? And the reason why I say that is this. We're Israel's allies. If anyone were to go and attack Israel, we would step up and help them. However, if the United States was to attack Israel, would anyone step up to intercede? And before you go off and say, like, wow, this is crazy talk, we would never, the United States would never do that. But the reason why I bring this up, and again, this is all hypothetical, is so the United States is taking over the Gaza Strip. But what if, further down the road sometime, our government says, we want to take over more of your land. And then Israel says, no, you're not taking over any of our land. You could have the Gaza Strip, that's it. And then all of a sudden, there's a conflict now. I mean, look at the proceedings with between Trump and Greenland. How Trump is basically saying you're going to give us what we want, or we're just going to take it. Now, what if he takes that stance with Israel in the future? I don't know. Again, I'm just saying it's a possibility. As far as being an enemy from the north, we are basically we're east of Russia and we're slightly south, but you could technically say we're in the north. Again, just putting that out there. So anyways, I'm going to close this video, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. I want to start putting out these current event types videos. Anything that just comes up in the news that I think is worthy of pointing out. We are definitely living in interesting times. So definitely keep the faith and stay strong, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you soon.